everybody, and welcome to your Monday night installment of SPTV Live. I am Apostate Alex, reporting to you live from the UK. Thank you so much for joining me. Mark the Dorset SP. Evening, Alex. Good to see you back on the live stream. And what a great day last Wednesday was. Yes, Mark here is, of course, talking about the protest that I held outside London Org last Wednesday for L. Ron Hubbard's birthday. Thank you so much for joining, Mark. It was great to see you again in person. And thank you for coming along to the live chat as well. We've got Angela here. We've got Karen here. Just a YouTube channel. Hi, welcome, Bok Buddy. Good to see so familiar faces in the live chat. Boo, is it not possible for one to become a channel member? Absolutely it is. Just beneath this video on the left, there should be a join button. If you're already a member, which is possible, someone might have gifted one a membership to you, you can hit the join. It will say perk. It will say see perks rather than join, which means you're probably already a member. But memberships are a great way to get access to the little emoji stickers, Janet Laveau, and all of that feature on the stickers. So yes, that should answer your question. Thank you for joining, everybody. Let's jump straight into the news. I have received news confirmation from a very well placed inside source that the Scientology Ideal Org in Paris, that was due to open at the beginning of January, is finally on the cusp of opening and will be opened on the 6th of April. That's only 2 weeks away. So we are getting ready. I, of course, will be there to give David Miscavige a very warm welcome to Europe. Now, I know that it's the 6th of April because this has come from somebody who is inside Scientology, under the radar, who received the news internally, and it's not meant to be shared just yet. I can't share the screenshot of the conversation where it is confirmed with you because it will give away the source and their identity. But I assure you, it's a well-placed source. 6th of April is the date that it's happening. Bit of context, Paris is one of those orgs that David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology, was promoting at the IAS event in November. And again, at the New Year's event, he was saying this will be a massive new org. It will be opening in January. It's now March. It's not happening till April, so it has indeed been delayed. But 6th of April is when it is happening. I'm going to share this very brief article with you that I shared earlier on Scientology Business, my blog looking at Scientology UK and European operations. 78,000 square foot Scientology Paris HQ set to open 6th of April. It is a lovely building. It used to be the headquarters of Samsung Electronics in France. It was bought by the Church of Scientology for $36 million back in 2017 through a US registered shell company, and it was very briefly refurbished and turned into their new org. It has been sat there empty for a little while, ready to open, and I've been sharing updates as I've got them through internal sources about their recruitment. A bunch of the staff was sent to St. Hill here in the UK to train on the new golden age of admin, and they've been recruiting, and they were very close to the 85 staff members they needed to open, and now they have reached that. They are about to open, and I want to share a little bit of background as well. So this is an article that I published in December by Stephanie Hutchison, who wrote this for me, about their building. So it was purchased in 2017. What's quite funny about this is the building was vacated by Samsung Electronics, I think 2015, and it was then given a 5.7 million euro refurbishment. That's about 6.2 million dollars, because it was a Samsung building, and then the company who owned it spent $6 million refurbishing it to make it a brand new, spanking, lovely new office building ready for the next tenant to come in, and they can just move in without doing any major works to it and just crack on with what they need to do. So they spent all this money to make this building ready for the next business tenant. Scientology come along and buy the building, and then undo all of that work and refurbishment that was done and spend a bunch more money on it, turning it into an ideal org. So what a complete waste of money and time for everyone involved in that. But here we go. That's how Scientology operate. A little bit of history of Scientology in France. This is where the org is located. So it's just a stone's throw away from the Stade de France, which is the main place, the stadium where the Paris Olympics will be happening this summer. And a little bit of history. So it was found in 1995 to be a dangerous cult by the French government. Scientology claims to have about 45,000 parishioners, but the government only reckons they've got about 2,000. They have been found guilty of fraud on 2 occasions in France. Once was back in the 70s or 80s, I believe, and again 2016, 2019, something like that. There was another case. Scientology are not liked in France. They're seen as a cult, and they've been found guilty of fraud, one of which was involving L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard was found guilty of fraud in absentia. When he was still alive, there was a court case. He was found guilty and he did a runner. He never returned to Europe after that because he was scared of being extradited and serving jail time. He was sentenced to jail time, but he never served it because he escaped the country. So France are not the biggest fans of Scientology. There was huge pushback when the building was originally purchased. The mayor and thousands of residents signed a petition to stop the purchase and opening of the building, but it didn't stop them. And here we are now, several years later, with the opening about to happen, and I cannot wait to be there for the opening to give them a piece of apostate Alex on the streets of Paris. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, I'll be live streaming, and it will be great to have you guys participating as well. So 6th of April is a date to set in your calendar. How exciting! It's going to be fun. This will be the first Ideal Org opening in Europe for a while. And the first Ideal Org opening that I would have been to, because the Qual building that opened in November was an Ideal building, but it's not an org, so that didn't really count. So it'd be interesting. If you want to read a bit about the history of Scientology in France and look at pictures of the building, the link's in the description for the post on Scientology Business, so you can go and look at that and take a look at all the pictures. There is a lot of pressure and a lot of stress in Scientology at the moment to open these buildings, especially the Paris org, because the Paris org is so integral to their plan when it comes to the Olympics happening this year. There's no way there's no way Scientology, words are so hard. There's no way Scientology would pass the opportunity to be on the doorstep of a global, major international event. We saw it at the Olympics here in London in 2012. They were giving out truth about drugs booklets and so on. They will be doing everything they can to get their foot in the door at the Olympics. So there's no way this org was not going to be open before the summer. And now we can confirm 6th of April is when it's happening. So that is the main news. Laurie here, looking forward to your coverage, Alex. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to doing that. And Doug from Clearwater, are you going to get a squirrel suit to wear? I love that. That is hilarious. Perth, Australia, Scientology audit. They always inflate numbers. Yes, the building itself is 78,000 square foot, but Scientology are claiming it's 90,000 square foot, which it's just clearly not. Laurie, thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. That's very kind of you. And congratulations to everyone who just got that. You know, say thanks to Laura in the chat. Laura Baldy, thank you so much. I want to share something with you. The new Qual building, which Scientology new Qual building that opened at St. Hill during the protest. Let's see if I can get a picture up here without wasting a bunch of time. So Qual is qualifications. That's the division that trains staff. For example, this is the new building that's at St. Hill that opened. They finished building in 2019, but it opened officially in November during the IES event, and we were there protesting. Now, this building was completed a few years ago. However, in a press release, let me get the stats up here. Square meters. I should have had this prepared. Bear with. Square foot. Here, okay. So if we look at the planning application, that building was approved to be 12,000 square foot. That's 1,147 square meters. That's the actual floor space. The planning application said 1,200 square meters, which is 12,900 square foot. That's the size the building was meant to be, and it should have been built for. However, on the Scientology website, in their press release, they announced that this building was 20,000 square foot. That's almost double the actual size it should have been. So, of course, I emailed Mid Sussex District Council and I said, this building is meant to be this size, but Scientology is saying it's almost double the size. Could you confirm whether Scientology have built a building larger than they should have and therefore needs to be knocked down? Or are Scientology lying and they've inflated the numbers and it is in fact the size it's meant to be, but they've lied about how big it is in their press release? So Mid Sussex District Council went and did an inspection last week and they were denied entry. They emailed me and said, unfortunately, security wouldn't let us onto the premises. However, we are going back later this week to measure the building, which they then did, I believe, Thursday or Friday. I got an email where they confirmed they indeed did a site visit, measured the building, and it is the correct size as per the planning application, which means Mid Sussex District Council did in fact just confirm Scientology lied in their press release about the size of their building. And yet again, they're doing that with the Paris building. It's opening on the 6th of April. How funny. I'm going to be putting this in an article later, so please keep your eye on Scientology business. But this is the sort of thing I'm having fun doing behind the scenes, just figuring out how things are going, where Scientology are lying, what they're telling people, what they're telling the council, and what they're doing legally, what they're not meant to be doing legally, and where they're kind of pushing the boundaries and so on. So in this instance, they absolutely built the right size building. They just lied about it in their press release. Peaceful drama, of course they lied. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what I thought had happened. But nonetheless, we now have the council confirming that is the case, which is just funny, if you ask me. One thing I do want to bring up, I'm not going to get into a big debate about Aaron's new SPTV Foundation, all of that. I support any and all efforts to help people escaping and leaving and recovering from Scientology. But I put a post up on my community page yesterday, and I just want to clarify something here in that I'm removing SPTV merch from my merch store next week. You've got until Sunday if you do like it and you want to get anything. The only reason for this is because I want to avoid future potential misunderstandings. The people who are currently watching the channel, already fans of SPTV, of my content, Aaron's and everybody else's, it's not really an issue because you guys understand the difference between SPTV being the collective of us on YouTube talking about Scientology and Aaron's new foundation. However, in the future, when new people come along that may not be as informed or may not understand the difference, there is a possibility where they may come across my SPTV merch and wrongfully assume that the money made from the sale of that merch goes towards the SPTV Foundation. I wanted to make it really clear. I want to make sure that I avoid that situation because the money from merch sales goes to support the channel and help me do what I'm doing here. So I'm taking the merch down to avoid any potential conflicts, and that is the only reason. I'm not going to stop calling this channel SPTV. I'm not going to stop using the term. I think anybody is free to use the term SPTV. Aaron's not claiming ownership of it or anything like that. I'm just removing the merch to avoid potential issues in the future. That's what's happening. I wanted to let you guys know because last time I removed merch from my merch store and didn't release a statement, I was brought under fire and told I should have released a statement about Goldie and all this sort of stuff. So this time, I'm letting you guys know I'm taking the merch down. Don't be surprised. And I'm not taking it down because of some belief or support or not support of Aaron's foundation. It's nothing to do with that. It's just to avoid potential issues so that it's really clear where people's money is going. If they're buying merch from my store, it goes to me and the channel. If you want to support Aaron's foundation, I'm sure he will release details in due course about how to support his foundation. But I just want to avoid potential issues, be really clear about money and where money's going so that people don't get confused. So don't read into it. I'm not taking merch down because I don't support Aaron or the foundation or anything like that. It's just the transparency thing. I support any and all efforts to help people escape and leave Scientology, and that includes any charitable organization, non-profit foundation, and so on. So just wanted to get that out there so that it's all clear and you guys know what I'm doing. But I'm focusing very much on my work and activism to try and raise public awareness about Scientology abuse that's going on, the way they treat their members, the way that they control their staff and parishioners and control people's lives, financially ruin them, tear families apart, and so on and so forth. And I'm doing this full time. I spend all day, every day in meetings, talking to people, doing stuff behind the scenes, and I can't wait to share with you something that I've been working on for several months. That should be coming out any day now. It should have happened over the weekend, but it's not happened just yet. It might be tomorrow, but as soon as it happens, I'll let you know. But it's going to be huge, and it will really, really start to bring more public awareness to the problem that is the Church of Scientology. We saw recently, I reported on it yesterday, the Narconon situation. Narconon is Scientology's drug rehab center. They've got one here in Sussex, and there was an article in The Guardian, The Observer, that I was working on with the journalist for about 9 months. That came out front page news a couple of weeks ago, and there was a follow-up article on the weekend just gone where Shanti Das, a journalist, reported that the Narconon Center is being investigated by the Charity Commission, which is awesome because that's what needs to happen. And it was taken down from the NHS website where it was being promoted as a drug rehab center. And that happened off the back of a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes. So I can't wait to share more of that with you as time progresses. But that's just a taster of the sort of thing I'm doing behind the scenes. I was working on that for 9 months, now 10 months, and wasn't able to talk about it. So when I say I'm working on it full time, that's what I mean, because that's what is going on. There's also the fraud investigation that Diana Abbott, the Labour MP, has been calling for with HMRC. Lots of movements in that set sort of area as well. And I'll keep you updated as soon as I can. But that's just a short update from me, guys. I wanted to fill you in. Paris Org is open on the 6th of April, and I will be there showing them what I'm here to do and shouting from the rooftops about why Scientology needs to be stopped so that it can prevent the abuse and suffering of other people. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee with the link down below. PayPal, all that sort of stuff will help towards the travel costs. It's not too expensive to get to Paris, but it is short notice, so the prices are slightly inflated. So any help you can give would be greatly appreciated. But the best way of supporting the channel, as I always say, is to like, comment, subscribe, make sure you've hit the bell so you get notifications whenever I go live, and just keep sharing the content. Follow us on Twitter, all of that sort of, and get the message out there. So, as I said, just a short one from me tonight, guys. I'm on war footing and I'm not fucking about.